Hello everyone and welcome to the Dialed In podcast as part of the How I Became YouTube channel. Today I am with...
George again, still me, still here, week 2. Well, episode 2.
Episode 2, week 4.
Week 4, yeah.
Week 3 we're recording.
Yeah, so the plan is one podcast every 2 weeks.
And hopefully one interview at one point.
Yeah, an interview to slot in between, eh?
Yeah, and we'll get onto that more in a bit. But before we go any further, this episode of the Dialed In podcast was brought to you by patreon.com/How I Became. Patreon is an amazing platform which allows you, the audience, to help support us, the creators, to continue to develop and build content you love. To find out more about the perks available on our Patreon, please visit patreon.com/How I Became. That's patreon.com/How I Became.
Nice to be back again, Pat.
Yeah, it's raining this time in the UK.
Yeah,
apologies.
Apologies to anyone listening if you can just hear a little pitter-patter in the background. We've done our best to sort of minimise it, but
yeah,
it has been torrentially downpouring today, like really going for it.
Yeah, it's left me in a little bit of a depressing mood. That and the fact that I don't know if this channel will ever be able to make parody music videos.
Don't make me laugh. I can't start laughing this early on. Yeah, so the topic of today's episode is the huge phenomenon online at the moment, which is the diss track, isn't it? So
yeah, I this is something we'll get into later. I would call them parody music videos, but everybody calls them diss tracks, and I can't tell which one's a parody or not. So
yeah, it's a yeah. Well, yeah, we'll you know what? Let's figure out our own definitions a bit later on. But first, we're going to start with our weekly topics, which are: what have we both been watching in the past week since we did the podcast? So, Pat, do you want to start?
Sure. So, the big thing that's happened for me since we've last recorded a podcast is the channel Steven Suptic, the channel we mentioned last week in quite a bit of detail. Really intriguing, their kind of alternative lifestyle vlogs that they're doing. That's been renamed to Sugar Pine 7.
It's quite bold to do a rebranding just like that, like quite direct, isn't it? It's not... it's not easy.
No, so this has come a part of them joining Rooster Teeth, right? And kind of building this bigger production rather than... I think
it's because they started it when it was just Steven's channel, and then they actually realised that they wanted to do something more than it just being Steven's channel, because it wasn't just him, it was a whole team of them. So yeah, well,
Steven started as a gamer, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty player, right?
Seems like everybody starts as gamers, and the people we'll talk on later on also started as gamers, some of them. But yeah, so Steven Suptic as the channel kind of started creating these alternative lifestyle vlogs. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 kind of key members as part of these videos that come out every day, every other day. I think maybe 5 to 7 times a week, depending on what their shooting schedule is. And they've rebranded themselves to Sugar Pine 7, so they're now more a group rather than it just being Steven.
It's more like a movie studio or something. Do you know what I mean? Like actual full-on brand.
Kind of more of a production than it is just these single YouTube videos made by a single guy.
Yeah.
And that's reflected in their content as well. They had their end of season 1 finale, which was crazy, wasn't it? It was
amazing.
Hugely well produced.
Yeah, amazing.
James, one of the key characters inside of the Sugar Pine 7 kind of universe, if you call it that, was the director for the episode. And yeah, it kind of brought in this very cinematic element that was really, really cool. And because it's YouTube, season 2 started like a week later. It wasn't Game of Thrones. You didn't have to wait a year and a half.
Yeah.
It wasn't Rick and Morty where they troll you on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
This was like back straight away.
Well,
back with season 2.
I remember saying to you, like, oh, have you seen season 2? Season 1's just finished. When do you think season 2 is going to come on? I think we both said, a month or something, didn't we?
Yeah, we thought they'd take a break, probably work on some development, go over to Rooster Teeth in Austin because they're based in LA, and probably plan out what's happening next. But from listening to their new podcast called the Sugar Behind the Pine,
something like that. Yeah, it's basically just them chatting in their office.
Yeah, so it's them kind of giving a better insight into exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it, without giving away any kind of key plot points or anything.
Yeah.
But one of the main characters, Parker, was the kind of feature of the final episode of season 1, and I won't spoil what happened, but they then discuss kind of what happened in the podcast, and it was a really good insight and understanding as to why things happened, how they happened, kind of how it was planned, and what they've got planned for the future, and kind of what Parker is doing in the future as well as the character and as the person outside of that character in that universe.
Yeah, I really like the podcast they do. It's really because it's just basically their videos in a less formal setting with the same kind of jokes and humour. So it's really good, really easy to listen.
I think it does go back to this whole parody thing though, that I can't tell at which points they're joking and which points they're not. There's a lot of what they say that's like, that sounds like your character, but you're also saying it with a straight face.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I guess that's just why it's so funny.
But that's YouTube for you, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, George?
Yeah, I've been watching Sam and Nico. They're part of Node, which is part of something else, right?
Corridor Digital?
Corridor Digital, yeah.
Is it Corridor or Corridor?
Corridor. It's Corridor, 100%.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I've been saying it wrong for about 7 years then. Corridor Digital. I thought it was called anyway.
No, Corridor.
So Sam and Nico are the guys who created Corridor Digital.
Yeah, they're two of the guys that work on it, and
but they started it, right?
I think so.
Did they start that channel?
I'm actually not certain about that, but I've been watching their Sam and Nico thing because it's like they do a video every other day. Or
it's a more behind the scenes look, and more
and like
rough
more
and
vloggy.
ready. Yeah,
and they've been doing loads of cool things like they've got a 3D printer, and so they've been trying to like 3D print parts for their different movies and stuff.
That's really cool.
Or like they take an airsoft gun and they want it to look like an alien gun.
Yeah.
So they'll 3D print parts to fit onto it. So yeah, it's really, really cool. So I've been watching a lot of that. And then also I discovered Tom Scott has got a little short form podcast kind of thing called Matt and Tom.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, and they did a couple of episodes in the Google thing in King's Cross.
Okay, yeah, the YouTube space.
Yeah, in like a woodland,
like Google's
like
headquarters.
a woodland setting or something.
They're forever building sets over there at the YouTube space.
Yeah.
It's really cool. We
Yeah.
should probably head over there at one point.
I think we will.
Have a look around.
But yeah, no, I found that they did a little short form podcast, and they were chatting about how Tom Scott put a number. You know that? Did you watch that video when there was like the face of one of the guys, and it like this face was like the big thing? Well, for anyone listening, that probably sounds really.
I
really
didn't understand the context there either.
Yeah, so Tom made a video, or they made a video about the other guy Matt's face from a shot from one of their videos when he was like, it was blowing a raspberry, and it looked really stupid. And in that video, Tom said, if you've been offended by this image, call this number. As if to parody like the BBC and stuff.
Yeah.
When they have like EastEnders and it's young kids smoking or doing drugs or whatever, they put that little thing at the end, don't they?
Yeah.
So then he thought, oh, actually, for a bit of banter, I'll make it an actual real number. Yeah. So then he was explaining the Easter egg about how if you rang it, it was a voicemail of him saying, congratulations, you rang this number, but sorry, there's no help. And it was just really interesting to listen to, like
almost
that.
a social experiment.
Yeah, basically. And he's a very clever guy.
Yeah, I do
really
enjoy his series of he's doing stuff around computer science at the moment.
Yeah, because you know what, I linked that to our friend who I went to university with when I did my computer science degree, and we both agreed that he explained code in that video, the one when he's doing the number chat, better than any of my lecturers.
Yeah, that was the one where he was discussing I can't remember what the test was called, but it was like a universal test used for
employers and that.
Yeah. So when employing a coder, they would give this. They made up this universal test.
Fizzbang or something like that.
Yeah, Fizzbang. Yeah. And it's the objective is to build a code where certain numbers correlate with certain phrases. Fizzbang and then Fizzbang. And there's many ways of doing it. There's like clean ways. There's like kind of bodge ways where you like kind of put it all together. But it's a super interesting concept. And like you said, the way I've never done coding before, but the way he explains that,
really good.
It's really simple.
Very concise.
Helps you understand it.
It's so visual as well. That's what I liked about it. It was so visual that it was really good. So I recommend if you're looking to start coding or thinking about coding, or you're just interested in what coding is like, watch that, because it's on Tom Scott's channel. It's just so good.
Yeah. And would you say that's your new discovery this week as well, or have you seen those videos before?
The Matt and Tom videos. Yeah, they're my new discovery of the week. And what about you? What have you found?
So new discoveries this week. Again, as if anybody knows, I'm kind of part of the automotive world. So a guy called Joe Achilles, who I've known from a few different trips and stuff we've done before with other influencers, but him recently with his content's kind of stepped up another level. Makes videos based around the BMW mark, the BMW brand, and really interesting. And he loves cars, and it kind of shows across it. I think it's more of a passion thing for me and for him.
You can tell he's passionate when you watch it.
Yeah, hugely. The more kind of generic one that I've seen in the trending feeds and kind of got picked up on through social media is Beam News. So Casey Neistat, for anybody who doesn't know, daily vlogger, advertising, created adverts back in the day, kind of always been a viral face of YouTube. Nearly became the face of YouTube at one point, I think, during his daily vlogging kind of reign. And he created a company called Beam. Beam was a social media network company, kind of a cross between Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram stories. It didn't do super well. It kind of leached off of Casey's YouTube fame, and I think he admitted that and kind of acknowledged that later down the line. But it was bought out by CNN. So CNN, the big multinational corporation news network out in America, bought out Beam and the Beam team, including Casey's kind of part in that. And now they're building up these new kind of social-led news YouTube channel projects. I don't know. I think from what I understand, CNN bought the team rather than buying any specific intention. But it was really interesting to see that develop. They've kind of made a few update videos.
I noticed that I saw a couple of them show up in the trending and that.
Yeah.
And so I gave them a watch, but I wasn't too interested really. Like, it wasn't something.
Yeah, I think they've got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Their videos aren't anything more than what other people create. You've got BuzzFeed create some kind of engaging videos. I'll leave it at that. Vox is a really good channel. So Vox is kind of like Vice, but again, if you were to combine maybe Vice and Tom Scott, which sounds like a weird one, but it's like interesting subjects explained really well in a really graphical way over a 5-minute video.
That sounds pretty good, actually. I might
and
have to give that a watch.
The latest Beam video was a insight into the film Dunkirk, kind of led as a story based around, I think was it a 97-year-old guy who went and saw the film and it was at Dunkirk, and they flew over to Canada and they kind of interviewed him, and it was like this nice insightful piece. It didn't really feel much more than a very small story though, and they're aiming to make these every day, so a lot of travel.
That sounds pretty cool
to make that happen. But it's an interesting channel. Obviously, it's very well backed, so that's not going to be an issue there. So I'm excited to see what they can continue to make, and kind of see where that goes and see where Casey leads that, because he's always been quite on the forefront of this whole social media space. So
talking about being on the forefront of
dear,
I think it's time.
Are we there?
I think we're there.
Okay.
So
George, drop the beat.
That's the best I could do.
Yeah,
no,
that was a good drop.
Thanks. No, let's get into it. The rise of the diss track, or rise of those parody music videos, as you put it.
So do we both want to have a go at a short explanation? Let's see how short. This is a challenge. Okay, so we both have to come up with the shortest way to explain exactly what this scenario is to anybody that isn't listening.
What, in the YouTube space, or just the tracks themselves?
So this diss track phenomenon.
Okay.
Explain it with as much information as possible in the shortest amount of words.
Okay, I would say it is a hype. Oh no, hold on. It is a hyped season, because it seems like a season, right? It seems like a short period of time. I don't think it's going to have a long
longevity.
lifespan. A hyped season of insulting parody music videos, generated and written to attract attention and create fake gossip. Oi, that was sick. Okay, let's hear your one.
Oh god. Okay, so to explain what this diss track phenomenon would be, I would say it's a social-led movement based around fake news, like you would expect from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
On a social platform aimed at 13-year-old girls who know no different.
That was good too.
I'm not sure if that made any sense. We should probably maybe spend a little more than those maybe 20 or 30 words and actually explain it. But this kind of world of these diss tracks has kind of been brought to a head by Jake Paul, who we briefly discussed before.
I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening will know exactly what we're talking about as well. You can't if you go to YouTube, you will have seen it. Like, it's not something that you can escape from.
Yeah, they've got hundreds of millions of views at this point. It's not something you can really walk away from or not be aware of. But yeah, so you've got Jake Paul, Logan Paul, two brothers based off of Vine that have moved on to other social media networks, one of them including YouTube.
They're like a plague. They infected YouTube. It's like a parasite, don't you think? They were on Vine and everyone was happy with them being on Vine. No one complained. They were like, we're only getting 6 seconds at a time, thank God. And then they just crawled their way into YouTube space. No one really noticed anything. And then now suddenly they are just...
Well, they blew up, didn't they?
They're just the gods, yeah.
They got... what's the line in the song? 8 million subscribers in 6 months?
I don't know, yeah.
PewDiePie, I'm coming for you or something? I can't remember.
Is that what he says?
Something like that. It was a diss inside of a diss track.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, all of these Viners have kind of emigrated to YouTube, and they've come up with this way of developing huge amounts of buzz, comments, engagement, whatever you want to call it, by creating these music videos where they insinuate that they hate each other.
Yeah.
They talk about these disses that are meant to be personal and quite specific, and they make these really terribly
they really
produced,
are terrible. Yeah, they really
terribly produced. And I'll let you kind of delve into
sure.
that a bit more with your production background. I don't know anything about music, and even I was like, looks like a professional Vivo music video, but doesn't sound like
yeah.
one. So they make these very simple songs that have catchy tunes, and with their large audiences, they're able to pump those up and build them into what is quite a large kind of viewership. So the biggest ones have like 100 million views. And, you know, one spawns another. So one diss track, obviously then like kind of, it's like not an echo chamber. It's like a reaction. Like
chain reaction.
A chain reaction. That's it. Yeah.
Dominoes.
So
yeah.
I diss you, George. Then you diss me. But in that diss to me, you diss my friend. My friend then comes back and disses you. And these are all like 4-minute long, like kind of movie cinematic level music videos.
Yeah, I think we need to break this down. Right? I think we first need to talk about it in a media sense, in a YouTube sense, and then we need to talk about it in a business sense.
Okay.
Because I actually think it's such a deep topic, because it's very much more than just people making music videos.
Yeah, I think someone's being very clever. I don't know who that person is yet.
Yeah, so let's talk about just the videos and the content in general. So I think that it's obviously very clever. But in terms of the actual videos, they're really well filmed. You can't deny that.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of money that's been put into every one of these productions. It's very clear.
Yeah, like you said, Vivo, like they're designed to be.
I mean, even the thumbnails have fake Vivo images on them in the bottom left corner,
Do
like
they?
real Vivo. Yeah, if you look at them,
Vivo?
most of them on their thumbnails say Vivo.
Oh, mad. So yeah, no, they're really well filmed, really well shot, very professional in the way they look. In terms of sound, obviously they're not musicians, these people.
No,
they're not
and
rappers.
they are on a very tight schedule as well. I think that's the other thing about these diss videos, is that in this social media world, things move fast. You know, Jake Paul is making daily videos, so is Logan Paul, so is Rice Gum, all these people. And what they're doing, or what they're having to do, is push out these tracks every 2-3 days. Like, if I dish you, you can't spend 4 months coming up with a perfect song like Ed Sheeran would, or JME, or whoever it is, you know, a professional artist. You've got to come back to this in 48 hours. Otherwise, your fans, because social media is so kind of fickle and fast, they'll just either swap sides, or they'll start calling you out for not actioning what is very clearly a diss or a call out.
Yeah, I think they're obviously, the lyrics are quite funny. They're intended to be quite comedic, and yet also a bit insulting.
I don't know whether they're meant to be.
Well, I think the Jake
That's
Paul.
the funny thing.
I think the Jake Paul and the Logan Paul ones are very different to the new KSI and Sidemen ones that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
So the Logan Paul and Jake Paul ones, I would say, you know, they're written by someone to be quite generic.
Yeah, very easy. But you can talk about the backgrounds of the songs, but the production of the songs, they're very easy melodies, very simple.
I actually think the songs in themselves are made quite well. I think there's obviously like an online farm where they've got a producer on tap who's just producing these beats for them, because obviously Team 10 are a big brand. They're owned by big dogs.
Well, that's the interesting thing behind, let's take the Jake Paul and co kind of area of this. If we diversify this into the different areas, different kind of, I guess, heads of influencers, as it were. Jake Paul is he has a overarching media company that he is the CEO of, and he has investors in, called Team 10. Now, Team 10 own the house that all of Jake Paul and his comrades live in, and from what I understand, they must fund these expensive music videos as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
they're not a cheap thing to film, are they? They're like Lamborghinis and
you've got 2 rentals of supercars, which may be $3,000 a day each. You've got, you know, a big mansion to rent in, which is maybe $5,000-$10,000 a day. You've got all of the production crew, like we said, these are hugely massive productions. There is tens of people there. It's not your standard YouTube video. The lyrics might sound like it's a standard YouTube video, but the actual quality of the videos aren't at all. And so I did a little bit of background research on all of these guys. So Team 10 is made up of between, I think, 7 and 8 people, not 10 as you might imagine. There's a few members that have dropped out, and there are a few members that have joined back in.
That's actually quite funny.
Yeah. I heard Jake Paul say in an interview actually that it was never intended to be 10 people. Now, whether I believe that or not, I'm not exactly sure, but it doesn't matter either way. There's enough of them out there to be making music videos. Jake Paul being kind of the head of this space on Team 10, he's made 6 music videos since May 30th, 2017, and they have combined reached 210 million views.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's like beyond viral.
There's channels that I work with in the automotive space that have been going for 7 years, 8 years, and they have 200 million views total.
combined on their channel.
Yeah, total. And
Yeah,
this
that's-
is just music videos just from May of this year, of 2017, the time we're recording this. You move down from that, and quite a lot of the other kind of influencers or talent, as they may want to be referred to.
Yeah, let's use the term loosely there.
Yeah,
Talent.
yeah. Within the Team 10 team, at least, these members of this group, they've started producing music videos as well now. So you're seeing smaller dramas kind of spawn out of the Jake 10 overarching narrative. You've got people that were in relationships that are now out of relationships. They make them public, and then they make a music video about it. And that seems to be like the method now. We're seeing this with the Sidemen and KSI. KSI announces he's leaving the Sidemen. They make diss tracks about it.
I mean, you know what? It's so difficult to talk about it because it's so much going. And also, we are in the what they say when you're in the middle of a hurricane. So you're in the eye of the storm or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're in the eye of the storm right now. Like it's going to be I can't tell you what's going to happen in the next week or the next month.
No, I mean, for perspective, today was the day that KSI released his reaction to the Bazinga music video.
Yeah, Ethan from Sidemen.
Road to Shore and Bazinga's music videos went up in the last 2 days. They've already received nearly 4 million views each per music video.
Yeah, and I looked at KSI's reaction thing when it came out today, and it had, within 8 minutes, I refreshed it, and it had 110,000.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to have a quick look right now.
I think it was 500,000 when we checked just before dinner.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a quick look.
We were having a look and kind of looking at all these videos.
Okay, yeah, so in 3 hours, it's got 500,000.
Yeah, and now, obviously, pinch of salt, because real time versus what YouTube shows you, it'll actually be higher than that. So I would expect at least 500,000, if not 250,000, in that time.
750,000.
Three-quarters of a million, not 250,000. Maybe 250,000 more.
Yeah.
So it's nuts. And I watched a Casper Lee video recently. I think other people can go find it too. We'll link it in the description. But it was an interview with KSI kind of discussing this phenomenon of, I think, him leaving the Sidemen and what he's going to do, where he's going. And it was kind of maybe a slightly more comedic parody look at these kind of like serious interview questions. But there was talk of this Jake Paul phenomenon and kind of how they could capitalize on that. And as if by magic, a few days later, you've got guys again. George is looking at the thumbnails now. Look, they've got Vivo in the bottom left corner. If you scroll back up a bit.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the Road to Shore one.
Where's the Road to Shore?
Scroll down a bit.
One?
Up a bit, you missed it.
Yeah. There's one there. Road to Shore, Vivo. Look, and then
up, the reaction one.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, Vivo. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make it sort of
trying to make it look real. And if you look at that thumbnail again, like it looks like a professional image. I mean, it's very highly photoshopped, as you can see.
that Road to Shore, he's got 4.8 million in one day, which is just especially for like the UK thing. We're not as
these
big
guys weren't getting that kind of numbers before this happened about a day ago. None of them were. I mean, KSI obviously getting big numbers, but he's the biggest out of that group. The other guys,
I can't believe he's got 16 million subscribers.
Yeah.
That's a crazier number of people.
Yeah,
crazy.
But I'll be interested to see, because KSI will be the next person to release a diss track, and I'll be intrigued to see how that works. But anyway, so we've kind of got past the synopsis now of what these diss tracks are. They are tracks generated to create friction or social engagement against multiple influencers, YouTubers.
Yep.
And it seems to be probably planned. We don't know.
I would say almost definitely planned. Yeah, like especially, you know what? I actually am a bit frustrated at the Sidemen because they could have. Not because of what they're doing. I don't care, and I think it's really funny. I really enjoy watching the videos.
Yeah, I think actually the Sidemen ones were quite well made.
Good. Yeah, but I think
they were simple. They weren't trying too hard.
I think that they've made it a bit too obvious that it's a plan. I think they could have done a bit more work in.
It's quite formulaic, isn't it?
Yeah, they oh look, KSI's left. Oh, he's living with Rice Gum. Oh, as in his leaving video, he made digs at Ethan, and so because of that, Ethan makes the
music video. Yeah.
I feel like it's just a bit too scripted, like a bit too planned. Like obviously they're trying to they're milking it whilst they can because it's a big trend and it is going to get the views. But I feel like they could have done it a bit more authentically and made it look a bit less like
Yeah, I think that is the big difference between a UK-US audience. Is a US audience, they're quite into the drama of it all and the very deliberate.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually,
like they expect another diss track from whoever's next. Whereas in the UK world, if it's in TV or whatever, it's more the intrigue that captures people rather than the specific notion that there's going to be like Cat find out next week. Like it doesn't really work like that as much in the UK
definitely not. It's
very
very different kinds of consuming media, like as a whole, like even on TV and everything. So and it's like the American people like Logan Paul and that they're doing it that way, that they know how to do it, and the UK people are making it a lot more raw. I think like it's the same with grime and hip hop. Grime is the UK genre, and that's had diss tracks in it since the start, and that's always been very sort of, you know, serious and about hurting people or whatever. And hip hop again is more sort of fantasized, like do you know what I mean? Like a bit more
out there.
Yeah, a bit
fantasized
more. If that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, like a bit more glitz and glamour to it.
Yeah. It's the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Versus I don't know. Katie Price. Christ.
That is not a comparison.
That's a dreadful
comparison.
Moving on.
Hold on. If that is US versus UK, we have lost
No,
terribly.
UK would be Geordie Shore.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Or Made in Chelsea.
Or actually that Prince Harry and Prince William or something.
My God.
Sorry.
Yeah, they'll be on Celebrity Big Brother next year. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah.
So now we've kind of discussed diss tracks as a whole, as a genre, as a meme, whatever you want to call it.
A meme.
Yeah, I think it is quite a meme.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, just whilst you said that, I was listening to H3 podcast, and when Ela was telling a story about when they had their lawsuit, and the lawyer asked them, "What's a meme?"
Oh dear.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? Okay, here's another one. Try and explain that in as short a way as possible.
Oh my
What is a
God.
meme?
A meme,
And not what not. Start that again. Not what a meme is in the actual definition, because there is an actual definition of the word meme. It obviously came from somewhere.
How you explain it to someone.
But like, what is the internet's meme? Like that definition of the word meme.
Quite, because a meme nowadays is more than just a picture with text on it. Like Logan Paul is a meme. Because I would say a meme is a topical piece of media with comedic values designed to make people laugh, and it's got to be sort of I've lost my sort of succinctness there, but it's got to be really shareable.
I thought you were about to finish that off with and really shareable, and I would be like, oh, that's actually quite good.
You know what I was going to, but no, that's
throw it away.
Sorry, go on, let's hear yours.
Okay, so a meme is a it's a social construct built around comedy that engages an audience.
Okay, I like that. That's very formal.
I mean, the actual definition.
You're very good at formalities.
I try to think about these things. If you use big words, it sounds better.
It sounds better, yeah.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
You said a bigger word. Right, anyway, sidetrack.
Yeah, moving on. So yeah, we've kind of discussed what diss tracks are as a whole, and outside of the Jake Paul people, we have others. We have the Sidemen that are now bringing on this, and we'll discuss people like Rice Gump in a second too. But how do you think? Okay, well, George, I want your opinion on the production values. We briefly touched on it, but
okay, yeah, sure.
What do you see when you watch these objectively? You know, forget the good music videos, forget the budget behind it, forget the viewership. What do you hear when you listen to these songs? What are you picking up?
Okay, so the beats, so for example, if you look at KSI's Snapchat or his latest video when he reacts to Bazinga, at the end of it shows the studio with Rice Gum, or in one of Rice Gum's videos it shows the studio, and it's a full professional studio, big studio monitors, like the full Shazam. It's everything, like a big professional studio, and I think they've got actual professional producers doing the instrumentals. So the instrumentals do always sound, in my opinion, pretty good. Like they're catchy, they're sort of dark, and they've got that sort of aggressive tone to them, excluding Rotor Shores because he just used a classic beat. But like all the Rice Gum ones and everything like that, they're quite well made, the instrumentals. And then the vocals, they are, because they're not rappers, they have to sort of play around with them, right? So in Bazinga's one, what he did was they doubled the vocals and layered them down an octave or two. So if you listen to it, he's got his top voice, which is da na na na, whatever that is, and then da na 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 underneath. So it gives that sort of like an alien, bit more aggressive, which makes it fit more to being a diss track, right?
Yeah.
Because if it was just him being, "Hey KSI, I think you're shit," doesn't really have that sort of, because he's not got a voice for it. So I like the fact that they're taking.
He's having to fit a persona that he doesn't really have in his locker. And
so
they're building that up in post.
Yeah, I like that they're doing that. They're taking it a bit more seriously. I like it, but it's not. In terms of how they're made, they're not the best tracks in the world. There's nothing There's nothing new. They're just it's all about what they're saying rather than the instrumentals.
Which one do you think's the best out of all of the Jake Paul, the Rice Gum?
I actually quite like Rice Gum Godchurch. Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually quite good. Like I actually think he's actually not bad at sort of
20 million views in a few days.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good at lyrics as well, and sort of like how he's holding himself as a person. It reminds me almost of Rich Chigga. You know Rich Chigga?
No.
He's this American or Asian guy. I'm not sure exactly where he's from originally, but he does like a sort of trap music, yeah, and he looks very much like Rice Gum, but he's very, very serious, and his voice doesn't suit the way he looks. And I think Rice Gum's sort of getting towards that. And you know what? Should we put a bet on it now? Right. How in the next 6 months can we see a diss track in the charts? Or a track by someone who's currently making diss tracks in the music charts, both American or UK.
Do we disregard KSI because he's already been in the charts?
Yeah, because KSI doesn't count.
Okay.
Because his music will end up in the charts inevitably.
In the UK, I'm not sure. It depends who gets involved with this whole diss track kind of genre.
Yeah.
In America, I don't know how their top 100, top 10, top 40, whatever it is, works. But I would be intrigued to see if Jake Paul does. I know they touch the iTunes charts as soon as the song's released for an hour or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like they don't stay there. They're not there for Sunday or for whatever day the American charts has kind of decided.
Yeah. I just thought that'd be an interesting bet because
I know that they're less and less favouring Spotify and streams, aren't they? Like that, was it 100 streams equals one buy or something? I'm not sure what
I think it's even less, like 1,000.
But there is a ratio to it because streams are so much easier than buying a song. That less intent there.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Streaming and you know what? I nearly went off on a tangent there, but I need to sort of hold it back. But anyway, so talking about the production side, I think they're not bad. Yeah, I would say that they're definitely better than a lot of music that some people make because they're being made in the proper studio and
so they've got the right backing, they've got the right people behind them. It's just the people saying the words that's the issue.
Is letting it down. Yeah. But then again, they're not trying to be serious. Like they're trying.
Well,
to.
This is a question I don't think anybody can answer but themselves. But clearly, Rice Gum isn't being serious.
Yeah,
100% because he's just making diss tracks for the hell of it.
Yeah,
I can't tell if Jake Paul's being serious though.
Yeah.
Like Ohio Fried Chicken.
I don't know.
Have you heard Ohio Fried Chicken?
I haven't.
It's like a full song where they've got like farmers' accents. It's like maybe one of the worst ones because none of it's kind of like rapping or dissing. It's just bad. But there's so much money and time and like they're so serious about it.
Just bad.
I can't tell if they're being serious or not. So this moves me on to kind of the subject that is really interesting here is that, parody songs, maybe not diss tracks, but parody songs haven't just appeared out of nowhere. Jake Paul wasn't the first person to do this.
Yeah, they've been a thing for quite a while.
Lonely Island. Let's talk about Lonely Island because they've been on YouTube since 2005. They were on YouTube when YouTube wasn't owned by Google, I don't think.
They were the OGs. I used to literally love
Andy Samberg and co.
I loved Lonely Island. I still do love it. Like their newer stuff, the last couple of years hasn't obviously been as good.
Well, I think they've all moved away into films, into
because
into different areas.
Is it Kiva? I think his name is. There's Andy
Samberg. Isn't it Andy
Samberg?
Samberg?
Yorma or something like that. I don't know. They've got really interesting names, but I think that one of them is a movie director. Andy Samberg's done Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's been in a lot
of American comedy
shows.
Right.
So they made a new movie, didn't they? They had that one about the what was it called? They made a movie and it was about a fake pop star.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was recently.
Okay.
And it was it was designed to be like a pop star in the current day, right? And it was all like parodying how being a pop star works nowadays and that, and
kind of a Borat-esque look into what
here you go. Look,
world.
it was Andy Samberg, Akiva Schaffer, and Yorma Taccone. I knew it was Akiva and Yorma, something like that. Yeah, they've got
I can't believe I remember that.
Quite unique names.
Andy Samberg's the only one I can remember because that was relatively easy to pronounce.
Well, I only know it because there's that song when it's like Andy, Akiva, Yorma, and then Akiva, and it's like it was because they used to have a TV show.
Yeah,
and it was the intro for the TV show.
Yeah, and what's crazy? Lonely Island.
Sorry, don't mean to interrupt. Connor for Real was the name of the movie.
Okay,
and it was about a pop star called Connor for Real. All right, yeah. Sorry, go on, mate. Carry on.
How crazy. So yeah, like their channel started in 2005. They started with like kind of basic comedy skits, didn't they? It was like really simple stuff, nothing too crazy. But they obviously had this good knack on the music side of things, and they started making these parody music videos that were again, objectively like good music, not good videos because they didn't start from backing like the Team 10 guys, but good music, funny music. And they built it up into the point where they had Lady Gaga on, they had Rihanna, they
did have Lady Gaga, didn't they?
They had. If you go to most viewed,
Well, I was just looking at this, and it was like, I think when it really kicked off was "Jizz in My Pants." That was That I remember being.
That
in
was
school.
a meme song.
That was a meme before memes.
Yeah.
And I remember being in school and people like playing that on their phones.
When
and stuff.
a breeze rolled in.
Yeah, and I jizz. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I just said jizz then.
Someone take that soundbite and make a diss track.
Do not sample that. But no, that was definitely like the start of their sort of
popularity. Yeah.
And it was such a clever track.
Yeah, but they got signed by a proper music label. They were making proper music videos. I mean, look at the I'm on a boat.
I'm on a boat. Yeah, with T-Pain. Yeah, 98 million.
I'm on a boat and I'm going fast.
And yeah, they're
just
classic.
so good.
They're actually classics, honestly.
But here's my thing. They were good songs.
Yeah,
they're
very different.
The songs weren't popular. Is that the troll guy?
What guy?
That one you got your mouse on there.
This guy?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
Ignore
sorry.
me. I thought I saw something I didn't. I thought it was the trollololol guy.
Oh, no,
it's not.
no.
It's something else that looks
He's
relatively Eastern European.
He's actually dead. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. So back to the subject at hand. So what I find interesting is these songs became popular because they were good songs.
Yeah.
And there's a few artists out there. You've got Lil Dicky. Who again rose to prominence via the internet a few years ago with a few.
And also George Watsky. You ever heard of Watsky?
Yeah.
He did that white boy raps fast thing. You ever see that? Yeah. Now
and
he's
Wax as well.
I've never heard of Wax.
Wax and Herbal Tea. You might have heard of a song if anybody's listening called Rosanna. And again, it's like these parody music videos that are good to listen to as music, so they're not like leeching on a big audience they already have pre-existing. They're not just making massive music videos. They started off as good songs that were funny. Lil Dicky has some great songs now with people like Snoop Dogg, with Gucci Mane.
That's
people
a really
like
good
that.
one with Snoop Dogg.
He had a viral video kind of outside, but alongside the YouTube video where they did a really cheap rap video. Do you remember that?
I think so. Oh yeah, when he the money one.
Yeah.
And he has a 30 weapon.
Save That Money, isn't it? Yeah.
We will save that money.
Yeah. And the YouTube released music video was them walking around to really, really expensive houses, knocking on the door saying, "Can we film a music video for free?"
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of like sponsors at the end of the video, and like people letting them boats and stuff.
Yeah. And there was like one when he went to another artist's shoot and rocked up and used their
was
stuff.
it T-Pain?
Yeah, it might have been T-Pain.
It might have been T-Pain. I think it might have been T-Pain from Lonely Island T-Pain from that same video.
Yeah. But you know what? It's actually interesting that we're talking about Lonely Island because it makes it's making me reevaluate the potential of Jake Paul and Logan Paul, right? So
I don't know I don't think they're interested in it for the music. That's what I'm getting at. I don't think that they're here to become the next Lonely Island. I think they're here to make a quick buck for these investors that have put millions of pounds into whatever their ventures were meant to be. I think the Lonely Island have built careers off of being clever and funny with music, whereas I think Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Rice Gum are gonna make careers off of making an audience watch whatever they do.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. Sorry, just to what I was just saying then, right? So Lonely Island did tunes with T-Pain. They did it with Justin Timberlake. They did a tune with Julian Casablancas, who's he's in a pretty big band from what I remember. Akon, Michael Bolton, Rihanna, who is one of the biggest pop stars in the entire world. Like all of these absolutely huge artists. Yeah. And what I just had the thought in my head now of, the only reason that happened is one, because the music was good or whatever, but they were really popular. Like Jizz in My Pants was probably one of the first viral music songs. Yeah.
But I think there definitely is a weight towards the music being objectively good though. And there's a perfect parallel we can draw here. You've got, Justin Timberlake, Rihanna coming on these songs because they're funny and because they're popular, but they're actually good. Yeah. You've got Post Malone rejecting Jake Paul. Yeah. Because his songs are objectively bad, not objectively good. And it doesn't no matter how much popularity, what's his name? Guy I just mentioned.
Post Malone?
That's the one. Yeah. Austin is his name. But yeah, Post Malone, he isn't as big as Rihanna. He isn't as big as Justin Timberlake. He's a very big artist. I think he's a platinum record seller and done very well. White Iverson, I think, went to number 1. but he's not a Rihanna, and yet
No.
he's saying no to Jake Paul. Yeah, yes, one, because he broke his privacy, and we won't get into that because that's not a subject that we
Totally
need to
different
discuss.
thing.
Other people have discussed that, but if Post Malone thought that what Jake Paul was doing, those music videos was doing, was genuinely good, I think he would want to be involved on those tracks.
Yeah, well, it's like...
But they don't have that kind of prowess that the people like Lonely Island, like Wax,
Yeah,
like
but
all these people have.
what I think is
like Lil
interesting
Dicky.
is that the Lonely Island videos were so comedic, right? And they literally took the piss so clearly of everything, right? Like jizzing in your own pants and stuff. Like, and yet all of these big artists still did tracks with them because they weren't scared that their career was going to get damaged because they did it.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like if someone like
I mean,
Rihanna...
Jake Paul's currently being sued by his neighbours, and
Yeah.
it's all over the news.
It's like all about how they portray themselves, right? The Lonely Island were always very serious about what they did. Like, yeah, it was parody, but they were still serious artists. Like, whereas
they were still good at it.
yeah, whereas Jake Paul and Logan Paul, there's just slanderous. There's just so much drama about them, and I feel like if anyone gets involved with them, you either literally ride the wave in the storm and you just cling on for dear life and hope you make as much cash as quick as you can, or your career just dives.
Yeah, I think to be a part of any of that Jake Paul world, it needs to make your career.
Yeah.
If you already have a career, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near them because it's too risky.
You know what? That's the way you just said that. To work with them, you need it. It will make your career. And if you already have a career, well, I think that's interesting.
And
because
that's what they're doing.
I don't think we're going to see any big musicians and stars doing tracks with them because it is just almost a certified gravestone, isn't it? Like they're basically digging their own grave.
It's an association you can't explain your way out of. Like, why did you do a track with Jake Paul? Well, he's got a big audience. Yeah, but if you're a big artist, you already have a big audience. Like, that's not something you need. But Jake Paul and Team 10 are helping build smaller musicians. There's a guy called AJ Mitchell who, from all intents and purposes, from what I understand, is a smaller artist. And being part of Team 10, he uploaded a music video last week. It's got 3 million views, and that's down to this association, down to this network of talent where they're appearing in each other's videos, and they're kind of like building up to this engagement across a massive audience, and that's successful. I wish all the best to that guy because I haven't listened to his music, but I did see his channel, and the fact that this music video has got viewership, and if Team 10 can help facilitate new and bring in new talent into the world that has an audience, if it's not me then someone else, and then they make money and everybody's happy, then I think that's great. But yeah, I don't see these big musicians joining forces with people like Jake Paul because, like you said, they are too much of a... You don't know what they're going to do next.
Yeah, so unpredictable.
Yeah, very unpredictable.
Volatile.
Yeah, I think volatile is the right word.
Yeah.
1 minute they've got fires in their pool going up to the ceiling, like the roofs of the house.
I don't know what they're thinking. It's like when a kid goes to a party, yeah, and like a kid's party, and they have a sugar rush, and they just start doing loads of crazy stuff because.
But I think that's their audience, though,
off.
isn't it? I think their audience is these young kids having a sugar rush.
They're gonna regret it massively. Like this whole career thing. And
they've got to somehow transition out of it, and if they do that, then fair play to them. If not, then he's going to be 25 and still. It's the Fred effect, isn't it? Look at Fred, YouTube channel from very early times.
The Fred effect.
With a super high voice, wasn't it?
I actually love that term, the Fred effect. That's really good.
Yeah, for that, he was a channel... We'll make t-shirts. Link in bio.
The Fred effect.
Selling like a god church already.
He made a movie, didn't he?
Yeah, there was 2 movies, the Fred movies. I can't remember what they were called.
I'm going to find the revenue quickly whilst you talk about them. Go
on. So Fred was a massive channel, multi-million subscriber channel back when nobody had multi-million subscriber channels. Reached a younger audience. Now, I think he actually started making videos again, but he died for a very long time because it wasn't. He was a small flick in a large world. Like, he was it was a drop in a pond. He wasn't a mainstay on YouTube. He didn't create a genre. Instead, he made a genre for himself and then kind of used it until it was all gone, and then someone else took his spot. In the same way that Ray William Johnson, although he didn't create a whole genre, it wasn't really. He has now moved on and been superseded by other larger YouTubers in the same way that I imagine at some point PewDiePie, kind of forming this comedy gaming space or at least what it is today and kind of what it's represented by because he's the largest. He'll move out the way and a different style of channel will come at the top. I think this kind of daily vlogging, engaging world might become like the next big thing in terms of the greatest subscribed channels on YouTube.
I mean, yeah, like what you're talking about, Fred and stuff. Like, I'm just looking. Like, obviously, they bombed because he rinsed his. He had a good idea, fresh idea. He absolutely rinsed it.
Yeah.
And then, understandably, when a big company says, "Listen, mate, we want to make a movie out of Fred. Here's how much we're going to pay you." You're not going to be like, ugh.
Yeah, you're not going to say no.
No, exactly. You're going to say yeah. And then, obviously, inevitably, that's the end of his career now. But the second one had bloody John Cena in it. John Cena. Like, why was John Cena in the Fred movie? And he's still fine, actually. I didn't destroy his career, so I don't think John Cena's career will ever die.
Yeah, but you can't have a career destroyed in something that nobody sees.
That's true. Well, it says that the premiere on Nickelodeon had 5.7 million live viewers, and that's back in 2011. So that's not that's not too bad.
No, that's not the worst.
Yeah. I think it's time for a quick ad break.
This episode of the Dialed In podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/How I Became. Patreon is an amazing platform which allows you, the audience, to directly help and support us, the creators, to continue to develop and build content you love. To find out more about the perks we have available when you become a Patreon, please visit patreon.com/How I Became. That's patreon.com/How I Became.
Nice. So let's we've chatted a lot now about diss tracks. And
so I think we've covered this kind of space. I think that Jake Paul. I don't think Jake Paul is taking credibility away from these larger artists who actually are professionally making these videos.
Yeah. Because
like we've just discussed, they aren't making good music.
Yeah.
They're just making videos that get lots of views and objectively good videos. And I think they serve a different audience there. Like I'm going to listen to Wax on my way home probably tonight on Spotify, but I'm not going to listen to Jake Paul's songs.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think there's a different audience there. But I think what's really interesting outside of this Team 10 thing is this guy Rice Gum. We haven't really touched on him too much. We've kind of been focusing on the Jake Paul area.
I actually don't really know too much about Rice Gum. I just know that he started quite a while ago. Me and you were looking at his channel.
Yeah, he started again, like we said at the beginning of this podcast, on Call of Duty,
which seems to be a big trend in terms of these viral marketers and viral channels.
I think everybody has their creative outlet, and for a lot of kids,
Call of Duty was channeling that. Yeah,
Call of Duty was the easiest way to make videos, and we discussed that in our first podcast. That Call of Duty was a really easy platform or kind of subject topic that we were really passionate about. That was easy to make videos about. So Rice Gum's channel. I think he had his first video uploaded. Was it 4 years ago or so? And beyond that,
I think it was 2012, so 5 years ago.
Okay, 5 years ago. And that was a Call of Duty video, dreadful quality, everything we discussed in the last episode. If you want to listen to more about our thoughts on that, listen to episode 1 of Dialed In.
Nice.
Lovely plug there, link in bio.
Smooth, yeah. Sorry, mate, go on, carry on.
Beyond that, though, his channel seems to have nothing until a year ago, or at least kind of the end of 2015, which on YouTube for some reason is a year. I'm not sure why that is. But it's really interesting to see his kind of dynamic change that he's made. Obviously, he's hidden or privated or deleted a lot of his older videos. But a year ago, he started with pretty much no audience. And he's now got, 7 million subscribers?
Yeah.
We saw a video that was uploaded at the end of, it was December 2015, wasn't it? Earlier today. 50,000 subscriber thank you video.
Yeah, and now he's got 7 mil, almost 8 mil.
Like a year and a half ago, year and 8 months.
Has anyone grown that quick before? Obviously, I think some people probably have.
Yeah, Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
Yeah, true. They're the biggest, fastest growing channels, aren't they? Unfortunately,
I don't know who the all-time. Unfortunately, I don't know who the all-time fastest growing guy. I don't think that's something we can find out because YouTube Analytics portion of their website only started in 2013, so not all of that information is kind of present. But so Rice Gum has made 30 diss tracks so far. 30 diss tracks in the last year, and he has been clever. I guess the word's clever. To anytime there was a drama or anytime that there was some sort of like kind of hint of a drama, he would take it to a level where he then could make a diss track. And not only did you gain audience from or gain viewership from your own audience watching that and being intrigued, but then the person you diss has to respond or does something, and then their audience come and watch your video too. And his videos combined over his 30 music videos has 200 million views. Now, he's no Jake Paul, but that's a huge channel. Like his channel is built on at the moment these diss tracks.
So would you say that he was the start of the diss tracks? Like
I think
of the current trend of diss tracks.
Of what we know now, I think so. I haven't been in this diss track game since the start.
No, me neither.
That sounds weird,
it's not been something that's really interested me, really.
No, it's only popped up recently with this Jake Paul kind of phenomenon that I've been
just
following.
It's so in your damn face.
Yeah,
now.
you can't really miss it because we've got channels that we actually watch, like H3H3 Productions making videos on it. You know, you've got Jax Films kind of taking that and running with it too with Jake Paul and building viewership off of that. So yeah, I think he's a really interesting character. He's clearly, and you said he's clearly quite clever as to how he builds these tracks.
Oh yeah.
KSI is currently living with him in LA right now, so any diss tracks that we see from KSI with regards to the Sidemen beef, I think that will come out of Rice Gum's brain as well. I think that will be another Rice Gum production.
In the last podcast, we chatted a lot about originality, and we chatted a lot about having your own ideas, and but we also chatted about sort of creating your own concept of stuff by sort of copying other people and working on other people's ideas.
Yeah.
And I feel like KSI, if he's now, obviously he is doing music and he's getting better at music.
And he's doing music full time now. Yeah. That's his main aim for his channel.
But what I'm worried for him is, and I am actually quite worried about it, because obviously he's worked so hard to build this up. He's had a couple of blips recently. And I hope that he doesn't just jump on this track
bandwagon
hype, and then flop at it, or just rely on it to keep his growth and then just suddenly disappear off the map. That would be sad, because obviously he's such a big figure in the YouTube game that it'd be a shame. Artistic integrity is something that most YouTubers don't seem to have, because a lot of people, like, once you start earning a lot of money through making YouTube videos, I feel like one of the things that you want to do is just keep earning loads of money. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, there's a lot of the guys out there that are doing it solely for the views, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a profession, it's a business.
No, of course, yeah. But I mean, but for someone like KSI, who used to make videos he really liked, and now he's making music, so he's a musician, he's an artist.
And I think KSI's spoken out about following what he wants to pursue rather than what his audience expect of him. I think that's why he stopped uploading for those 4 months, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but now it seems like he's gone the other way, and he's joining Rice Gum in his house to make diss tracks. Like, I don't like, he's sending mixed messages there.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
I think what we should do now is have a quick little rapid fire section of someone that you think it would be funny to do, who could put out a diss track, someone who you wouldn't expect.
So we need to pair up YouTubers who are going to diss each other and then create tracks.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, and let's do it rapid fire as well. So like, we'll do it quite quick, and it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that's linked, but the more linked, the better. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't really want to just have.
I might throw some like oddballs in here.
Okay,
I'm already thinking.
I'm going to just quickly whip up my YouTube subscriber box and just
that's a good idea.
Get some quick ideas. I think it would be good to get a tech one, right? So MKBHD versus Linus Tech Tips. That's a pretty good one.
Or Unbox Therapy.
Unbox Therapy
because he has a background. I reckon he would actually make. He has a music channel.
Who?
Unbox Therapy.
No.
Yeah, he's got a music channel.
Does he make music?
I think he makes the kind of music that you do, like with one of those. I can see it in the background, one of those like keyboard.
Okay, what, like dance music and that?
Maybe it's not dance. Maybe it's like more like drum. I don't know. We'll have to find his channel.
Yeah, we'll listen to that later.
And I'll get you to sit down and listen to some of his songs, because he's very much into that world. So that would be an intriguing one. I think Linus Tech Tips. I feel like that's probably one of those ones where he would do it because it's good viewership, but I'm not sure whether it would be any good. It'd be shot on a red camera. It'd be shot in 8K.
Yeah, it'd be peng. Yeah, it'd be really nice to look at.
But Sandals and Socks Man, I'm not sure he's really up there in terms of that.
Oi, Casey Neistat. If he was going to do a diss track, who would he diss against? That's difficult.
I reckon Jesse Wellens.
Oh yeah, that's a really good shout.
I don't think Casey's that kind of guy to have a real diss. I think Jesse, because they're such good friends, I think that would be quite a good one.
That's a good shout, mate.
I think Jesse would actually be quite good at a diss track as well. He's definitely got that kind of street style and flow, I reckon. What about CGP Grey and Brady Harron?
Yeah, that would be funny.
The Hello Internet beef.
What about if they were on a team?
No, they have to be against each other.
You want them to go against each other, yeah.
Because I want them to argue Flaggy Flag versus Nailing Gear.
I'm really sorry, but I haven't watched that many episodes.
For any Tims watching this, you have to instruct George as to what flaggy flag and nailing gear means. I'll fill you in, George. Don't worry. I'll fill
I know
you
what
in.
the Tim is.
I won't. I don't know why they call their audience Tims, but it just sounds good. It sounds like there's a meaning behind it, but it's literally not. It's just the name Tim.
What about a Vice versus CNN diss track competition?
Wall Street Journal versus PewDiePie.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, both videos have to be non-monetized though.
Oh yeah.
No videos.
Yeah.
So Brady Harrod and CGP Grey, they love flags. And they also love voting systems. So they voted to make their own flag. And they have like a flag, but then they have these people that like oppose that flag and like the other flag out of the ones that you could vote on. They did a full legitimate postal vote. Like you brought a postcard from you bought a postcard from like the post office.
Yeah.
You signed on the back of it like your name, where you're from, and like you list out the names, and then you like put an X next to the one. Then you send it to their PO box, and then they made an entire 2-hour podcast where they sat there and counted them.
Oh my god!
And they didn't use first past the post because they're not savages. They're
What's
actually
that?
Developed. First past the post is like the voting system we have in the UK. So if a certain amount of people hit a threshold, whatever party it is, then they instantly win.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't account.
It was just out of everyone.
It doesn't account like who would theoretically come second, like who's your second preference. So I can't remember the system they use. It's very nerdy. I quite enjoy that kind of thing.
Well, it makes me think. I was listening to one of them talking about how people redrew the American flag with 51 stars.
Yeah,
and it was just they're really funny guys.
Yeah, they love that. Yeah, go check out
Hello Internet.
That's the one.
Yeah, and if
said how it became.
I've just had an idea of like old school vloggers. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking Shay Carl.
Oh my god.
Versus Charles Triffy or something like that.
Charles Triffy. Why do I know that name and not know what he's made?
CTFXC. He's like the longest running vlogger of all time. He's done like 10 years without missing a day or something.
Wow. Ben Brown versus Louis Cole.
That's a good one as well. You're really good at this. Ben Brown. Funhouse versus Rooster Teeth. Sugar Pine 7 versus Funhouse.
Sugar Pine 7 versus Cow Chop.
Cow Chop, yeah.
It would just, someone would be killed. What about Zoella versus Alfie Days?
Yeah, that'd be joke.
That's a strong one.
That'd be really
They can
funny.
have like pug battles.
Or Zoella versus Louise Sprinkle of Glitter. Yeah, that's a good one.
Who else is there?
I don't know. Well, you know what? Sometimes, considering how many YouTubers there are and how many YouTubers I watch, it's really hard to like pick out the names. Do you find that sometimes?
Yeah. Well, it's like watching TV shows. You know, you're skipping through like an EPG guide on a TV, like a TV guide, and you're like, oh yeah, I know that show. But like, you wouldn't. If I was to say to you, like, name every single TV show you've watched, you like watching, you wouldn't be able to list all of them.
I actually know a good one for Jesse Wellens.
Okay.
Him versus Gina.
Hey, boyfriend versus girlfriend. That's too deep.
Boyfriend versus ex-girlfriend.
I can't believe that. Yeah, their channel was boyfriend versus girlfriend.
Yeah,
So that's a deep one. Yeah,
that's a deep. When they set that up, they must have thought, what if?
Yeah. Well, they made it last long enough. It was like 7-10 years or something. Wasn't it? Like it was. They were pretty deep into that. Oh man, that's a crazy one. I like that one.
Right. I think that's rapid fire enough. I think we got
H3.
Oh, go on.
Versus Jake Paul
and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Because then you've got
Ethan and Hila versus Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I would actually die to see that. I actually would die. That would be so funny.
That would be mega.
And obviously H3 would win.
Yeah.
Because they
would just get Post Malone to make the song. It would actually be good.
It would be amazing. That
would be nuts. But I think we're going to wrap it there because otherwise we'll be sitting here all night listing YouTubers that we want to diss each other, and most of them aren't going to happen. I don't think any of those that we've listed will happen.
Leave a comment below for who you want us to diss.
Yeah, who should we make a diss track? We'll get George to make a diss track.
I'll make the beat, and then Pat can do the bars.
My name is Patrick, and I'm here to say, dialed in's over. Subscribe.
Away. Oh gosh.
Right, we'll keep our day jobs, George. We might even shut down this channel at this point.
This might be the last podcast. So, thanks for listening, everyone. It's been really, really fun this week.
Yeah, really cool to discuss this phenomenon of diss tracks. Hopefully one isn't made about us. If not, we'll have to reply.
Oh my god. We will. And we will destroy.
Maybe you have to reply. That's the main thing about diss tracks.
But no, this was a much lighter topic this week. We've also got, by lighter I mean less serious. You know, we're getting quite in depth in sort of artistic stuff.
You're not going to learn much from this one in terms of
easy listening,
in terms of how to make a diss track, but you will learn a bit about this diss track world and how potentially this is a big money spinner for investors and people at the top.
Yeah, and I can hear the rain. Can you hear the rain? I've got to walk out into the rain now after this.
Oh God.
But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. It's been a really good podcast, and also we've got a couple of interviewees lined up.
Yeah.
Are we going to reveal them yet, or
No, we're not going to
quiet?
reveal them until they're live. I like the
Okay.
suspense.
Oh,
But
nice.
yes,
Okay.
people, I don't even know when this is going out or when they'll go out. In the next few weeks,
Yep.
in between the next podcast, or the next podcast, or the podcast after that,
Wow.
that covers myself for literally 6 weeks. You will see some interviews. You'll see some in real life interviews. You'll see some Skype interviews. Hopefully with people that you're interested to know more about.
Mhm.
Hopefully people that haven't made diss tracks yet, but maybe we'll get them to make diss tracks against each other.
Yep.
That could be a good
Or
one.
against us, yeah.
No, let's not start drama.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get on drama alert. But yeah, so for now, George, where can people follow you?
You can follow I don't really have my music one. I'm keeping quiet for now. So at George Ditch, DITCH is the surname. All one word. That's
George
just
is
my.
a social media influencer without social media.
I'm not really a social media influencer, but anyway, that's my personal account. If you want, I don't really tweet that much, but if you want to just,
I'll make him tweet some stuff.
yeah, if you want to,
I'll get him to tweet out the best diss tracks, and you guys can go over to there and follow George and keep an eye out on the diss track drama.
yeah, and
Nice
I'll
chronological
I'll
list.
try and keep in the loop with all of this. Yeah,
Yeah. For me, you can follow me at Becoming Patrick. Just follow me on Instagram. I don't really use the other ones either.
yeah.
I use them as ghost accounts, but I don't really post much. So
And-
Instagram's the best.
And we want to see in the comments once again, like last week, we've got some good comments. So if you could leave like who you want us to interview for future,
Yeah.
because we're working on it. We're not ignoring them.
Yeah, I think people are out there. We're talking to those people. If it's people that we've discussed today, or people that you think maybe would be intriguing, if there's a certain subject, much like this diss track, we want to get them. We want to interview them about their channel in general, and then also if there's an option to, kind of get them on this podcast and talk a specific subject. I think there's some stuff that we've just discussed today in very
Yeah,
brief
definitely.
that we want to kind of build on and develop.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. It's been fun.
Enjoyable. See you next week.
Bye.
This episode of the Dialed In podcast was brought to you by patreon.com/How I Became. Patreon is an amazing platform which allows you, the audience, to help support us, the creators, to continue to develop and build content you love. To find out more about the perks available on our Patreon, please visit patreon.com/How I Became. That's patreon.com/How I Became.